When SARS hit in 2003, I was 22 and I just graduated from NUS. I was fortunate enough to get a job in an MNC that I did my internship. However, my parents were not so fortunate. They were retrenched from their job one after the other. So the financial situation at home was not very stable. It was difficult for them to find a job, and my siblings were still very young. They were still studying. And on top of that, we still have our HDB housing loan to pay off.
That's a lot of responsibility, Caroline, especially for a fresh graduate. How did you manage?
I thought it was very stressful for my parents to have to continue to pay for the housing loan, and thus I suggested to them that we should downgrade our flat and find a smaller place to live in. As parents, they were very concerned about where we'll live after we sell the flat. It took me 2 years to persuade them to do so, and when we finally managed to sell our flat and move to a smaller one and get some sales proceeds from selling the flat, it was such a great relief for the family. Besides that, I also make sure that I spend and live within my means, making sure that each purchase is a necessary one and not an impulse one. And because my parents were still looking for jobs and my brother and sister were still studying, I also have to make sure that they were well taken care of if something bad were to happen to me.
Did you have insurance then?
Yes, I did. Protecting my family was my top priority. In fact, within the first 3 months of graduation, I bought my first hospitalization plan, life insurance, as well as an endowment policy. 30% of my monthly pay goes toward paying the policies, as well as my tuition fee loan. Another 30% on savings, and the rest towards daily expenses and monthly allowance to my parents. Taking the buses and MRT definitely help save money on transportation. I make sure that every penny that I spent made financial sense so that I could continue to pay for my policies.
Well, Caroline, you made all the right moves in managing your family and personal finances. You were prepared to make sacrifices. You downgraded to a smaller house. You didn't want to be burdened with too much of debt. And you channeled the savings to purchasing insurance plans. Now, if you did not buy your insurance plans when you were young, or if you had given up halfway, it would have cost you much more to purchase insurance later on, and you may not have been adequately insured. And both of these are not ideal.
That's true. Yes, I was always so worried about what would happen to my family if I was gone. So I made sure that I was adequately covered. Back then, I could have used the money to go traveling or buy that bag that I always wanted. Instead, I'm glad that I bought the plans when I was young. I also did not allow my insurance plans to lapse, and if they did, it would have cost me 50% more to buy the same insurance plans now.
That's right, Caroline. It is important to make sure that your health insurance and life insurance policies do not lapse. Make sure that you have enough savings to keep up with the insurance premiums. And you're right, it is definitely more expensive to buy insurance when you're older. Now, no one knows when COVID-19 will end, but do not give up on your insurance plans. During a pandemic, it is especially important to have health insurance and buy it when you're young.
That's helpful. Thank you, Vasu.
My pleasure, Caroline.